Hey guys, Tennessee Yankee, welcome back to the channel. Hey, today we're going to do a fuel filter clean on the Kubota. I've never done this before. I'm overdue for sure with this. I'm at like 230 hours and I was going to do it at my 200-hour service. But when I did that, I had a mostly full tank of fuel, and you really need to make sure it's less than half a tank, and I'm down to about an eighth right now. So we're going to do that today, get it cleaned up, and I'll show you what's involved in that process. Should be pretty quick and simple. So we're on page 121 of the manual for the LX. So cleaning the fuel filter. Here's kind of a breakdown of the different parts involved. Got an O-ring, the filter element, and another O-ring, and then the bowl. So really all we should have to do is unscrew it. It's going to be counterclockwise to unscrew it, and then we're supposed to clean it in kerosene and then reinstall it. And you do this every 100 hours, and then at 400 hours you're supposed to replace the element. So here's what I got. I got a gallon of kerosene from Lowe's. It's not the easiest thing to come by these days, at least like at a gas station. So I just went ahead and bought a gallon. And then got an old glass jar, so I'll use that to soak the filter in. So let's go check it out and take it off. All right, let me glove up here, and I'll do my best to try to keep this in the camera and not block it. Yeah, it doesn't unscrew too difficult. So we'll get a little leakage here, but hopefully not too much. All right. Probably would have been good to prepare and have a little pan under there. So yeah, this is what it looks like when it comes off. Now we can go take it apart and get the fuel filter element out. Okay, so back here at the bench, we still got the diesel in here. I'm just going to go ahead and dump it out in this container. We'll take this apart and see what it looks like. This is a learning experience for me because I'm not sure how this part comes apart. Let me go grab a pick. So there's the O-ring. There's an O-ring here too. Okay guys, I just went and grabbed a few different tools because this little pry tool wasn't working. So I had just taken the O-ring off, which I don't think that's even a necessary step here, but I guess it's good to get it out of the way to protect it. I just grabbed this paint, this deal that opens paint. You know, I could use a little screwdriver or whatever, but really I couldn't tell how this was coming out of the bowl. And I took this paint opener in here and just kind of gave it a little pry, and it started to come loose on me, and I pushed it back in just to show you, but it was a friction fit. You just kind of wiggle it, but this works good to get it loosened up. It's really a tight fit though. There we go. So I just kind of grabbed inside there and yanked. Again, that's a really perfect tool for it. So this fuel filter element, it looks kind of gnarly, but I'm sure it'll be fine once we clean it up. The inside of the bowl is kind of gross. You got this, looks like there's a leaf or something in there, a little piece of sludge. So we'll clean that out. as well. But let's get this and see how much we can clean this up. It's always good to save some jars. Okay, we'll let that soak in there. We'll use a little bit of kerosene to clean this out too. It's always good to have a few of the rags that are about at the end of their life to use for this kind of stuff. All right, it just calls for you to dip it in kerosene, and I've had it soaking in there for probably a minute. What I don't know is if that's detrimental to the O-rings. So let's start to get this out. But we gave it a clean. Okay, we'll put this O-ring back in. Actually, that'll be later. So we'll stick this back in now. Bowl's clean. Just fits in there nice and snug. And we'll put the O-ring back in. Kind of just lays in there. It doesn't really seat too firmly, so be careful to make sure that stays in there, and then we'll go screw it back in place. All right, we'll screw this back on. As soon as you do that, let's see, there must be a float up here. As soon as you press this up here, it starts to fill with fuel. This is a little tricky to get started. I had cleaned up some of my diesel earlier. I guess it was a little premature because this makes it come out again. Okay, we got her back in there. Looks nicer. Okay, now the next step and the last step is it says you must bleed the line. There's really not much to it. All the manual calls for you to do is fill the tank completely now and run the tractor for 30 seconds. So let's fill her up, we'll run it, and we'll make sure everything still sounds good. Guys, let me show you the effortless way that I fill up diesel in my Kubota. I think this has got a 6.5 gallon tank, so I usually fill it up, when it gets down to 1.5 gallons or so. I've never overflowed it. I just use this no spill gas can. I always use it for my diesel. And I just set it up on the tractor, and I'll take a clamp to it. Take a clamp to it to depress the green button and let it go. I could use my little pump, but this is just as easy. That sure works good. It saves on your back from trying to hold this thing in place. All right, there she is. Okay, let's get her started up, make sure everything's good. I don't see any leaks around the bowl. I think we're good. Alright guys, I appreciate you tuning in. Hopefully this is helpful. I learned something today, hopefully you did too. And if you found this helpful, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. Hey guys, Tennessee Yankee. Thanks for watching. If you found this content helpful, go ahead and hit that subscribe button on your right. I have other content linked for you on the left side. Otherwise, we'll see you next time. Thanks again for watching.